Okay, and before I start, I'm gonna be right back for like 2 minutes, so... Yep, sorry, be right back. Hello, I'm back. Sorry about that. Um, I got some drinks and a little snacky. So, okay, let me... Boop, get rid of that. Okay, Goda was doing the nighttime rounds. Rokenjima had always been empty except for the Ushiromiya family household. So checking that the doors and windows were all closed had no real purpose. However, since the time Natsuhi had condemned such an attitude as being careless, the nighttime rounds had become part of the servants' daily routine. In the first place, Natsuhi had ordered this because of the occasional witch disturbances. Everyone who came and left this island knew about the legend of Beatrice, the Witch of the Forest. It had become established as this island's characteristic ghost story. Because of that, it was only natural that some people would claim that when they thought they were alone in the mansion, they would hear a strange sound or see the shadow of a person. However, when that created a little too much of a disturbance and reached Natsuhi's ears, she made a fuss, thinking that some suspicious person might have been entering and leaving. Apparently, she had roused all the servants and had them check through the mansion. Because all of that panic over the witch had happened before Goda's arrival, he had only heard about it from the more senior servants. Ghost stories like that could be found in any workplace. Even at the hotels and restaurants Goda worked at, there had been plenty of them. So when he heard about that story on this island, he'd give a forced smile thinking, so they have that kind of thing here after all. That forced smile aside, he'd figure that when in Rome, so do as the Romans do and take it seriously. Goda went along with it on the outside, but in his heart he assumed it to be a childish trick. At first, that is.
これは確かに不気味ですね。なるほど。過去の使用人たちがいろいろと騒ぎたくなる気持ちもわかるものです。
I could understand how someone doing rounds on an eerie night like this might believe they'd seen a ghost if they saw a lace curtain waving in the breeze from a window that hadn't been closed.
肖像画の魔女をバカにするとたたりがあるか。大怪我をして辞めた使用人もいるらしいし。怪我は勘弁だな。俺もこの年だ。二度とこんな厚遇の職場には恵まれねえだろうよ。ああ、肖像画の魔女様、真面目に働きますんで、一つ穏便に頼みます。
Goda prayed to the portrait, his hands together as though he was at a Shinto shrine. That time he thought he heard a sound. The kitchen? Was that the sound of something metal falling on the floor? Maybe a mouse or cockroach had come out and knocked over some of the dishes. No, how could that be? It was usually cleaned thoroughly. Thinking he'd check out what that noise really had been, Goda entered the kitchen. Turned on the kitchen light. When he did, he heard a strange sound. Clank, 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 clank. To cook like Goda, the sound felt like a lid on a pressure cooker or something shaking. Surely there wouldn't be a pot on the burner when no one was in the kitchen. Even if someone was using the gas, walking away from it would be quite dangerous. Lol, I do that all the time. Just in case, Goda decided to inspect the area around the gas range.
何ですか？これは。
When he did, in the corner with the gas range, the pressure cooker really had been set out just as he thought. But the flame wasn't on. Oh, I dropped something, sorry. And yet the lid was clinking. Was something fermenting and leaking gas? Icky, I hope not. How could that be? Oh. There was a mouse or something inside? How could that be? Ridiculous. When people were watching, Goda acted as though he had a bold personality fitting for his build, but he actually had an unexpectedly timid side to him. He was frightened that there might be something inside and he couldn't bring himself to check it carelessly. In his cowardice, he grabbed a nearby wooden pestle, and with a clunk, he tapped it a little forcefully against the side of the pressure cooker. When he did, the clanking sound suddenly stopped. He should have been relieved that it had stopped, but the fact that it had stopped when he hit it was even more eerie. It made him even more suspicious about what was inside.
この世に怪奇現象なんて存在しませんとも。そんな魔女も魔法もそんなもの存在するわけがない。すべての現象は科学的に説明できるんです。お化けも魔女もいてたまるもんですか。
He repeated that many times, trying to build up his own confidence. The gap between what he was saying and what he was doing was quite
何が魔
comical.
女だ。何が魔法だ。たたりだ。
Me.
そら、正体を見せてみろ。そら。
Show me what you really are. Pa-cha-cha-cha-cha. He removed the lid of the pressure cooker. And lying exposed there was the sparkling clean silver bottom of the pot. Boom, Bum, bum. There's absolutely nothing frighteningly like he'd imagined. 'Cause he's a puss puss.
そりゃ当然中に何もいるわけがない。
By now, Goda realized he had been a coward. So he still had some doubts as to what caused the lid to make that sound. He figured it wasn't a big problem and decided not to worry about it too much. Then he took the lid he grabbed and softly set it back down where it had been. It's fine. It won't make a sound. Of course it won't. As if witches or magic could exist. Clank, clank, clank. Clank, 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 clank. Clank, 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 clank. All the pots and dishes in the kitchen started clanking at once. Grew even stronger so that finally the lid to one of the pots fell off. And from inside the saw, a slender white arm reached out. Lids fell off the pots one after another and another and another.
魔女なんかいるもんか信じるもんか
When the number of arms grew to 7, a loud, shrill laughter split the air.
がっかり。これほどの美味しいお料理を作れる人がこんな小物なんて本当にがっかり。あんたいらないんなら私がもらうわ。いっただき。ちょっとダメだってば。私がもらうんだから。
いや
Come on, let's search. There's only one more. That old hag. Where is she? She isn't in the mansion. What about the guest house? Hee. The first one wins. The first one wins, right? Come on, search. Find her. Don't be noticed by the relatives in the dining hall, right? Don't get noticed by the kids in the guest house, right? Search in silence. Kill in silence. After all, it's still just the first twilight. She isn't in the guest house. But she wasn't in the mansion either, right? Hey, I found her. She's in the rose garden. Why is she standing around there without an umbrella? She's already given up. All mine. You blockheads can just sit there and watch. I told you no, this one's mine. Come on, if we take any longer, we'll be scolded by Beatrice-sama. Let's take care of it all at once. There, found her, surrounded her. Come on, let's get along and do it all at once, okay? Die! Oh shit. Kumasawa? D?
何よこれ。
やんちゃなお嬢さんたちだこと。あの子のお友達かしら。
何こいつ。ババアのくせに。何かの間違いよ。もう一度。こいつどうして私たちを防げるの。どいて。もう一度よ。
何度やっても無駄だ。この誤人できる。
私はあの子を待っているのです。どうか呼んできてはくれませんか。
そのようなデッチボークを私たちがすると思う。
その必要はない。
ベアトリーチェ様。
私が権限するほどでございます。 必ずやお目覚めと思いました。
ロノウェイ、久しぶりですね。ええ、本当に久しぶりです。
こいつロノウェ様を呼びつけに。
そしてあなたもお久しぶりですね、ベアトリーチェ。
こいつベアトリーチェ様。
よい。そのお方をどなベアトリーチェとは、そもそもそのお方
Wait, what? Kumasawa was her teacher?
わらわはそれを受け継いだに過ぎぬ。そのお方こそは先代ベアトリーチェ教だ。
Oh, wait. Then how come she got killed in the second one? How come she got killed by Cannon? Or by, well, Beatrice's Cannon.
先代ベアトリーチェ教。
Oh my god, I can see it in her face now! Oh my god, I can see it in her Holy... Okay, gold butterflies appeared in ones and twos from the Garden of Roses and began to gather around Kumasawa. Then, after she was wrapped in a golden sparkle, she burst and disappeared, and Kumasawa's form was no longer there. She has white but that's crazy, dude! Instead, there's another golden witch, the one who taught the path of endless witch to Beatrice, and the only person Beatrice ever called teacher. I can't believe that's Kuma. Like, I'm like mind blown. Her hair was long, beautiful, vividly youthful, and her figure in that elegant dress couldn't possibly have been mistaken for an old lady. No, this looked like a completely different person from Kumasawa.
これはお師匠様。再びお会いできる日が訪れるとは夢にも思いませんでした。
ええ、私もですよ。よもやまた眠りを妨げられるとは夢にも思いませんでした。
まったく厄介なところでお目覚めになられる。いつもの通りお休みであられたなら、第一の晩を何も手こずることなく終えられるのに。いや、むしろ歓迎すべきですかね。少々退屈しておりましたところで。
相変わらず悪趣味な遊びで罪もない人々をもてあそんでいるようですね。無限の魔女の力は決して人に迷惑をかけることに使ってはならないと何度も教えたはずで。
そう言うなよ、お師匠様。退屈は私たちの天敵じゃありませんか。それから逃れるためのちょっとしたスパイスに過ぎませんよ。侵食が進めば進むほどにわらわの力は強くなり、しかしそれは同時にお師匠様の封印を解くことにもつながったとはな。
それを予見していたからこそ私はこうしてあなたのすぐ近くで眠りについたのですよ。願わくば二度と起こされぬことを夢見ながら。こうしてあなたと再会してしまったのは私にとってはとても悲しいことです。
相変わらずお師匠様は食えないな。
ロノウェ、家具の子たちを下げなさい。家具は主に仕えるだけです。すべての罪は主が背負います。
かしこまりました、マダム・ベアトリーチェ。
その名はもうその子に譲りました。さあ、下がり家具の娘たち。私は一度聞かぬとしても二度言います。しかし三度目は口にしませんよ。
下がりなさい。煉獄の巻き添いになれば塵と化しますよ。
下がれ、みんな。
Ronove and the Seven Sisters of Purgatory retreated. After that, what remained was the Beatrice whose daring expression didn't falter, and the teacher Beatrice who had given up that name and wore a composed smile.
さーて、お師匠、久しぶりの再会にはどんなお茶のご用意が良いかな。
そうですね。ほうき星の訪れよりも久しい再会です。もてなしてもらいましょうか。粗相があるようならば我が返してもらいますよ。
無限の魔女にも免許更新制度があったとはな。仰せのままに。お師匠様、あなたの弟子がどれほど立派になったか、そしてとっくの昔にどれほどあなたを凌駕したか、とくとご覧に入れましょう。
The air between the two Beatrice seemed to explode with sparks. Oh my god, just by glaring at each other, they purged all the spirits from that space. This is so cool. As they watched, the seven sisters shivered. After all, they had retreated just 3 steps. If they had retreated just 3 steps less than they had, they would have already been turned to dust by now.
さあ、いらっしゃい。ベアトリーチェ。あなたにその名を譲ったことが私の生涯でただ一度の後悔です。その過ちを今自らの手で修正しましょう。
そりゃあ違うぜ、お師匠様。わらわのただ一度のこの程度の力を学ぶのにあんたに弟子入りしちまったことだぜ。なんだ魔法だ。何が無限の魔女だ。
Sorry, I didn't
こ
mean to
ん
hit
な
my mic.
気づくだけの力じゃねえかよ。それをもったいぶって偉そうによ。お前の出番はとっくに終わってんだよ、お師匠様よ。
Oh, it's just cool music.
もうわけがわからねえ。一体目の前で何が起こってんだ。
かわいそう。私の弟子が迷惑をかけています。謝ります。
あんた熊沢のばあちゃんだ。どうしてこんな姉ちゃんに化けるんだ。つうかあんた誰だよ。わけがわからねえ。これは何の特撮なんだ。俺は頭がどうにかなっちまいそうだ。
私はあの子の魔女の師匠です。かつての名はベアトリーチェ。あの子が私を継ぐときにその名を送ったため今は名を持ちません。
あんたがすでに言い切っちまってるが、俺はあんたの弟子のせいで大いに迷惑しているぜ。頼むから責任取って何とかしてくれ。じゃなくて俺はこんなの信じねえぞ。魔女も魔法もあるもんか。こんなめちゃくちゃバトル。俺は腐ったな。俺は何を信じりゃいいんだ。
あなたらしいとても短気なもてなしですね。
さすがお師匠様。この程度じゃバカバカしくてまぶたを開く気にもならないらしい。島ごとぶっ壊す気でなきゃ無理らしいぜ。さあさあおいでなさい、双剣の戦闘。
In response to Beatrice's summons, a terrific earth tremor split the rose garden. and on either side of her shoulders 2 massive war towers sprouted and stabbed into the heavens. They stretched up to 100-meter tall, Marude tall, and each had over 360 ports. They were war towers of the god's army's corps, which had prevented even groups of ancient heroes from invading their sacred ground. As Beatrice elegantly floated in the gap between the massive 2-headed towers, she looked down on her teacher, sneering with a sense of absolute superiority. With the 2 massive towers lined up behind her shoulders, the witch looked very smart, like a butterfly dancing between huge trees.
蝶に化ければかわせるとか思うなよ。双子島の弾幕密度じゃあんた虫ピンの昆虫標本どころかめった刺しの針刺し人形だぜ。
Over 720 ports opened on the towers, and godly soldiers readied their multi-shot ballistas.
それであなたの手番は終了ですか？
それが遺言かよ。ぶっ放せ！
Jeez, epilepsy warning. The ballista shots that numbered over 1,000 were all fired at once, drawing a beautiful geometric curtain of death. The boorish sound as the bowstrings were played was probably even deeper than the reaper swinging its sickle.
さあさあおいでなさい。墜落せし塔よ。いちなる言語をはぜ、その罪を知らしめよ。
The sky was stained in an incandescent red. From between the clouds, a blazing massive tower fell upside down. That massive falling tower and its rubble sucked in the thousands of ballista shots so that not one of them approached the body of the witch who had summoned it. That's right, no group of people, no matter how large, could approach the mysteries of heaven. That was the reality of the fallen tower.
さすがお師匠様。いちいちやることがでけえや。
私の手番は終わりませんよ。さあさあおいでなさい。イバルディの息子たち、我にふさわしき槍を与えたまえ。
As the massive crimson tower that had fallen made a terrible gold-colored expression, a massive spear appeared from inside those flames. So tall, like a tower, that you had to look up to see all of it. It was too large for even a giant's hand. That divinely beautiful spear of gods was so massive, it gave the illusion that the fallen tower had turned into a spear the same size. It was a spear of certain victory that none could escape.
無用の双子塔ですね。自ら左右の退路を断つとは愚かしい。一本の槍をもお前は防げない。
When she snapped her fingers in command, the massive the massive tower-sized spear shot at Beatrice like a lightning bolt. It aimed right in the middle of the center of the Golden Witch's heart with extreme precision. As she danced in the gap between the towers like a butterfly, closing straight through the air like a flash of lightning.
こんなところでグングニルが弾けるとは。やっぱりお師匠様はすげえな。ハゼロ、役立いでよ。巨人兵の戦列、その盾と胸で神なる槍を防ぎきれ。
The shoulder war towers exploded in gold. They became several billion golden butterflies. Those butterflies took the shape of 7 massive armored soldiers, each stretched a full 50 meters into the sky, and they lined up in front of Beatrice, protecting their master and holding massive shields that towered like windmills. Holy! They were as massive as a mountain range. The witch behind them was like a small moon hiding behind the mountains. Once in the past, when the massive shields these giants held had been readied by the whole regiment, they had protected the King Wilhelm's castle not only from arrows but from the wind and the rain. For when they had faced upwards and held their shields to the heavens, not a single raindrop had gotten through.
愚かな神聖への敬いを忘れた魔女の哀れなことです。神の槍を巨人ごときで防げるとお思いですか？
道理ですね。人間の金属でいくら武装しようとも、神の槍はマダムの見事なエポレットメイトです。
そんなベアトリーチェ様。
もちろん忘れませんともお師匠さん。さあさあおいでなさい。ヘパイストスと弟子たち、我にふさわしき盾を与えたまえ。
A golden whirlwind arose at the feet of the giant soldiers. It was a cloud of countless butterflies. They attached themselves to the massive shields like a gold leaf, sparkling like they were a gold mirror. It was the absolute defensive law given to a goddess by the chief of the gods, the Aegis shield. When the Holy Spear, which was left a dignified tail behind like a comet, crashed into the mountain range of that gold shield, there was a terrible, thunderous roar. It was the creaking of pillars that held up the heavens. The divine spear spun around and around and was sent flying in the direction of the setting sun.
ありえない。真相を防いだ。
いいえ、違います。神なる槍が避けたのです。絶対の槍と絶対の盾は争ってはいけないのが神々の掟。それはつまり防いだのと同じことですがね。
このような荒事ばかり腕を上げましたね。
むしろお師匠様はこういうお遊びが相変わらず苦手なようで、わらわからのお返しだ。法典にのっとり、槍には槍でお返ししましょうぞ。
The giant soldier battle line, which had fully blocked the divine spear, released its holy gold shields. The shields fell to the earth, making the ground shake. When they did, another gold whirlwind arose, and the 7 gold shields changed their form into 7 massive spears of lightning lying on the ground. At once, each of the giants lifted their legs high and firmly stomped on the tips of the handles. As the air shook with a thunderous sound, 7 lightning spears spun beautifully and flew up above the giant shoulders' heads. They scattered into a gold splash and began to fall before the giants. Each of the giants squared off, and with the forces of their whole body, they kicked and smashed them. Broken pieces of numbered exactly 30 became lightning spears of exactly the same size as the original. Between 210 for the 7 giants, all of those burst at once, which each splitting into 30 horns, a total of 6,300. They became a barrage of thunderclouds drawing a beautiful geometric pattern, and then each changed into 3 bolts of lightning, so that 18,900 thunderbolts shot at the predecessor Beatrice. That bundle of almost 20,000 thunderbolts must have reduced the teacher's body to dust. That there had been no resistance, Beatrice knew immediately that she had been fooled. That time from the direction of the sun supposedly set, she felt the impossible rays of sunlight. A brilliant ray of light shone on her profile. It was the figure of her teacher holding aloft the spear of God that had supposedly been repelled a short while ago. She had bore a sparkle like the sun on her back and made it shine on the incarnation of darkness. As Beatrice watched, she was trapped like a mouse in a cage, cornered in a dead end formed by the giant soldier battle line. By now, the predecessor Beatrice had seized a position directly alongside that line.
これでお遊戯の時間はおしまいですよ、ベアトリーチェ。このわらわが側面を許しただと。
Her bold expressions hadn't faltered even once, but now it twisted for the first time. And faster than Beatrice could click her tongue, the predecessor released the holy sword. As it leapt through the air, it changed its form once more.
さあさあおいでなさい、ドベルグの兄弟たち。我に巨人を砕きし天の鉄槌を与えたまえ。巨人兵ども、わらわを守れ。何をしているか、ノロマども。
By now I was no longer a spear, but the whirlwind of a massive hammer that raised a sound like a whirlwind as it fell through the air. It was the legendary hammer that had shaken even the king of the frost giants. So the giant soldiers couldn't escape from that fear. So, regardless of how strong their master ordered them, they couldn't get in the path of that hammer. Of that what? Did I say? Oh yeah, hammer. Okay, I was like, did I read that wrong? Like...
安らかに眠りなさい。しょー。
Before the whirlwind of that massive chunk of metal, Beatrice was nothing more than a mere speck. The instant the whirlwind started to suck Beatrice in, she appeared to change into a massive war tower. The iron hammer smashed the war towers, scattering tremendous amounts of rubble, but did not reach she who had escaped behind it. Furthermore, when the smoke started to settle, the war tower had sucked in the massive iron hammer without crumbling and blocked the way. Even the giant smashing the iron hammer couldn't break through the final tower protecting the witch. However, this war tower was actually the witch's last trump card. It was a war tower for dodging that could only save her from danger once. But this tower was impregnable. No weapon could break through it. At that time, the moon disappeared. As Beatrice hid in the shadows of the giant soldier battle line and the war tower, she looked up at the sky. When she did, the inside of the moon was a figure of a massive horse ridden by the god of war and death. The predecessor Beatrice rode the horse with him. His cloak had blocked the moon and swallowed it in an eerie shadow. And the spear of the gods was in his hand once more. Oh wait, hold on, let me do something. Sorry, 1 second. In other words, it was a godly knight who had jumped over the ramparts formed by the giant soldiers in the war tower, attacking from the heavens.
やられた。スマザードメイト、楽しかったですよ、ベアトリーチェ。
The struggle to the death between the two witches in the same name was over. OMG. The spear that had been launched from the heavens pierced the ground. The giant soldier battle line in the war tower split up into countless gold butterflies, wrapping the area in a gold-colored storm. Then came the sound of thunder, and the sound of the falling rain and wind. If you looked around, the rose garden was empty. The butler and the rest were watching the two witches confronting each other. But Beatrice alone had changed. She had been pierced straight through by the spear, from the base of her neck and her right shoulder to her left buttocks, unable to even reach the ground with her feet. Horribly exposed like a... Wait, how is she? From the base of her neck on her right shoulder to her left butt, unable to reach the ground with her feet? Oh, okay. Tormented by wind and rain.
ベアトリーチェ様。
さすが恐ろしいお方です。
これで決着です、ベアトリーチェ。
Damn. Beatrice wore a bitter smile of false courage, but a strand of blood dangled from her mouth, making her look
無
even
限
more
の魔女の称
pitiful.
号と力、そしてベアトリーチェの名を今こそ返してもらいましょう。無限の魔女を語るにはお前は未熟が過ぎます。
やめて、許しておくれよ。ちょっとふざけただけじゃねえかよ。
あなたから我が名を奪います。元の姿に戻してあげましょう。過ぎたる力を手放し、己にふさわしい生を全うするがよいでしょう。さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。
The predecessor, Beatrice, began to recite the words of power. When she did, small gold butterflies gathered near the skewered Beatrice and began to swarm about her. Like butterflies sucking the nectar out of flowers, they began to suck the magical powers out of Beatrice, and it seemed to cause her intense pain. A cry of anguish issued from Beatrice's mouth. She no longer had any power to resist it.
さあさあ、目を閉じてごらんなさい。
This is kind of sad.
思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。さあ、ベアトリーチェ、あなたも私と一緒に復唱なさい。一緒にお歌を歌いましょう。そうすれば、あなたの苦痛が少しでも早く終わります。
そうだな、お師匠様と一緒にお歌を歌うなんて、どれくらいぶりかな。
さあ、一緒に。さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。
さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。
When the two of them began to recite the same song, more and more gold butterflies danced around, swarming around Beatrice.
大丈夫ですよ、お嬢様。あなたは私の弟子であることを失いますが、私の仕えるお嬢様であることに変わりはありません。そうしたらまた一緒にご本を読んで差し上げましょう。リンゴのパイを焼いて差し上げましょう。昔のように。さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。
思い出してごらん。そろそろ思い出すなあ。おっしょ、あんたの後ろにあるそれ、思い出したかな。
何ですか？これは。
When the predecessor Beatrice looked behind her, there was an eerie hedgehog curled up there. No, it was herself. There was another predecessor, Beatrice, whose body had been packed with ballista shots, lying there like a pincushion doll.
さあさあ思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。違うか。さあさあ思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどうやって殺されたのか。
The predecessor, Beatrice, was stunned. Her form gradually began to fade away.
これはいつの間に。
最初に呼んだのは双剣の塔ではない。四つ子の塔だったのよ。お師匠様の左右はるかに潜んだ隠し塔が描くセブンスランクルークの死の境界線をお師匠様はのこのこと踏み越えてきてくれた。チェックの発生が遅れてしまったことだけはマナー違反。率直に謝ろうぞ。
Battle had been decided at the very beginning and had been over since the time the predecessor had leaned forward, readying her holy spear to attack Beatrice, who had been wedged between her shoulder towers. The hidden towers looking on either side had bathed her in a windstorm of ballista shots from 720 ports on both sides, pinning and killing her. However, Beatrice hadn't wanted to be resolved like that. She wanted to let her teacher take her next move, and had continued acting as though the game was still on. She had immediately revived her with her endless power, and had made her continue the game as though nothing had happened. And then the predecessor slowly remembered that she had already been killed, and began to vanish completely. When she did, the spear that had been pierced in Beatrice also vanished. Beatrice finally landed on the ground. There wasn't even a trace of a scar.
楽しかったぞ。お師匠様、また遊びたくなったらいつでも蘇らせてやるよ。それで適当に遊んだら死体だったことをまた思い出させてやるからさ。なあ、ちゃんとあんたの言いつけは守ってるぜ。おもちゃは遊び終わったらちゃんとおもちゃ箱にしまいましょう。
楽勝でございますかな。
愚かだ。新章だ。四つ子島で騙せてなかったら死んでおったのはわらわの方よ。さすがはお師匠様だが、これで胸が張れるというもの。わらわは今こそお師匠様を完全に超えたとな。ロノウェ、お師匠様の亡骸をもう少しマシにしておけ。わらわもそこまで敬意を失ってはおらぬでな。
かしこまりました。今宵の第一の晩は少々派手に暴れすぎました。少しは片付けも必要でしょう。すぐに取り掛かります。ヤギたちよ、お片付けの時間ですよ。
When Ronove snapped his fingers, blazing, sparkling eyes began to blink open in the shadows and darkness, becoming goat-headed attendants that appeared one after another. One by one, they wordlessly stood attention in a line behind Renove's back. Oh, 1 second.
この度は6人の遺体をどのようにいたしますか。また密室形式に。
わらわは今それロノウェに任す。バトラーを悩ませるようなとびっきりの密室を頼むぞ。
かしこまりました。それではとびきりの。
それ、バトラーはどこだ。
くしょー。
今のめちゃくちゃな魔法の嵐を見せつけられて、俺は何を否定すればいいんだ。魔女はいるも何も、あんなドッカンドッカン凄まじいファンタジーを見せつけられて、今の俺は何を否定すりゃいいんだよ。もうわかんねえ。前回もそうだが、このイーカス的なマジカルバトルをどう否定すりゃいいんだよ。
だよな。こんなの見ちまったらもう言い逃れはできねえもんな。さあバトラー、とんでも推理を聞かせてくれよ。
お嬢様、笑いに品がございませんよ。
おお、これはすまぬ。しかしわらわの責任ではないぞ。何しろバトラにキューッと両目を固く閉じてキリキリギリギリ歯ぎしりする、なんと自然とわらわの口からこぼれてしまうものでな。
さあバトラ様、くじけずにテーブルへお戻りを。お嬢様はバトラ様の反撃を期待されておりますよ。
ふざけるな。何をどう反論すりゃいいってんだ。まずあの塔が地面から生えてきたあたりからもうめちゃくちゃだろうが、実は六軒島の地下に合体変形巨大ロボの秘密研究所、ボタン一つでおかしな塔が生えてくるって。ああ、それならあのでけえ巨人、あるいは悪の秘密結社のメカ界、わけわかんねえよ。俺に話しかけるんじゃねえ。
ほらほらほらほら、泣くなよ。そなたが望むのは月だって砕くし、水星を雨のようにだって降らすさ。お前好みのムチムチ姉ちゃんで島を埋め尽くしてやってもいいんだぜ。さあさあ、ほらほらほら、わらわの出番は終わったぜ。受け手をさせよ、反撃しろよ。できねえだろ。できねえのは船長も承知よ。お前こういうのダメだもんな。こういうファンタジー本当は大好きなんだもんな。知ってんだよ。今時こんなの巷にいくらでも溢れてるじゃねえか。漫画に小説、アニメに映画。10代くらいのガキンチョたちがおかしな特殊能力いっぱい持ってて、世界の命運かけてドッカンバッカンやるやつ。お前も大好きだもんな。知ってんだよ。隠すなよ。大好きじゃねえかよ。そのお前の大好きなやつがちょいと目の前で披露されただけじゃねえかよ。どうして漫画やアニメのそれは信じてくれるのに、わらわのだけ信じてくれねえんだよ。信じろよ信じろよ、信じちまえよ。反論なんかできねえさ。こうして見せられちまったんだからな。ほらほらほらほら、返事をしろよ。思考はいらねえ。素直にごめんなさいベアトリーチェ様って言え。ほらほら言ってみろ。ごめんなさいベアトリーチェ様って言ってみろよ。言えよ言えよ、恥ずかしがるなよ。
Okay then. Yeah, I'm 6 hours ahead, huh? There would have been no way to tell that morning had come without opening a window and looking up at the cloudy sky, which had become a tiny bit lighter. It wasn't a refreshing morning. All that could be heard was the sound of the rain, which hadn't stopped falling since last night, and the howl of the wind.
とても朝とは思えないわね。私たちの心をそのまま示したひどい天気よ。
なら随分穏やかじゃねえか。雨は降れど槍が降らねえだけマシだぜ。
雨が降ろうと槍が降ろうとドンと来いっちゅうとこやな。もう6時かいな。はあ、これで十分とちゃうか。あとは謎の19人目ベアトリーチェが動いてこんことには手の打ちようもないわ。
そういうことだ。だが向こうが撃ってくるだろうほとんどの手は想定できたはずだ。
そうね。兄弟の中に裏切り者さえ現れなければ、私たちは大抵の事態に対応できるはずよ。
もうこの話は終わりにしましょう。結局徹夜しちゃったわね。眠いわ。
そうですね。朝食をとったら一度お休みになられてはいかがですか。
良い提案だ。この年に徹夜は応えるよ。
As they all stretched, they enjoyed this unrefreshing morning as best they could.
顔でも洗ってこようぜ。きっとひでえ面さ。
何このひどい匂い。
As they exited the corridor, Kyrie openly made a disgusted
どうし
expression.
ましたか。ねえ、何かひどい匂いがしない？
ん？なんやこの匂いは。こらたまらんで。
Hearing those complaints, everyone stuck their head out into the corridor. Is it Goda in the kitchen? But once people started commenting it, it was clearly noticeable. Each of them went to the corridor, relying on their own sense of smell to tell them where this odor was coming from.
一体何事でしょう。現時に対応させましょう。きっともう使用人室に来ていて朝の準備をしているはずです。
頼む。まさかあのゴーダに限ってこんな匂いをさせる朝食を作っているとは思いがたいのだがね。
Rudolph and the others searched for the source of the smell and determined that it was coming from underground, from the boiler room. Oh, I hope it's Kinzo boiling. At the same time, when Natsu's group was on its way to search for someone in the servant room, they noticed something strange near the parlor.
何ですかこれは。
ひどいいたずらだわ。誰がこんなことを。
On the door of the parlor, drawn in a paint that looked like blood, was this strange thing that looked like a magic circle.
厨房にはまだ誰も来てないわ。何よそれ。
Ava's group, who thought the smell might be coming from the kitchen, had returned after confirming that no one was there and the preparations for breakfast had not begun yet. Then they noticed the change to the parlor.
ダメだな。ボイラー室は鍵がかかってる。ボイラーの故障とかそういうのだとまずいんじゃないのか。使用人は誰かいたか。
その悪趣味な落書きここにもあるの。ボイラー室の扉にもあったのよ。
なんやって。この薄気味悪い落書きがここだけじゃなく他にもあるっちゅうんか。はあ、まさか森の魔女ベアトリーチェの宣戦布告っちゅうわけやないやろな。
Hideyoshi tried to make fun of it, but staring at this creepy magic circle while listening to the wind and rain really made it seem like a message from the witch. The dripping bright red paint made one think of blood, which made it even creepier. Hideyoshi tried to open the door, but it had been locked. As a general rule, the parlor wasn't locked. Someone had gone out of their way to lock it.
これはどういうこと。私たちが食堂で話し合いをしている最中に誰かがこっそりとこの落書きを残したというの。
So, if we're schizophrenic and nothing Beatrice is doing is real, and she's just dead, I wonder if it's Genji who's doing the murders. I'm kind of starting to suspect him.
客間とボイラー室の扉に。
どうせ使用人の仕業よ。私たちはずっと一緒だったのよ。全員にアリバイがある。おそらくお父様に何かおかしな指示を受けてこんないたずらをしたのよ。
昨日のマリアちゃんの手紙の件も含めて、使用人連中が親父の手先になって何かを企んでる可能性は十分疑う。とにかくみんなどこにいやがるんだ。まさかかくれんぼってわけでもねえ。探そうぜ。
それより私は子供たちが気になるわ。無事よね。私確かめてくるついでにゲストハウスに使用人の人がいないか見てくるわ。
なら手分けだな。ゲストハウスにガキどもの様子を見に行く間、俺たちは屋敷の中を調べてみよう。考えたくはねえが、こんな薄気味悪い落書きがここだけってことはねえかもしれね
え。親父殿のおかしなゲームに巻き込まれているのかもしれない。
Excuse me.
私は親父殿のところへ行って事情を聞いてみよう。まあ素直に話を聞いてくれるとは思えんがね。
The adults split up. As a result, they confirmed that the 4 children were safe in the so-called cousin's room on the 2nd floor of the guest house. They'd apparently stayed up late last night playing. All of them were snoring loudly, so Rosa decided not to wake them. Furthermore, Nanjo, who had returned early the previous night rest, was also safe. It seemed he believed the phrase early to bed, early to rise had awoken refreshed. Sorry, I stretched while I said that. During that time, Kirie and Hideyoshi searched for the servants, but they didn't find them. Well, that's because they're dead. Oh, but yeah, I don't know where they moved them. The server room in the guest house was also empty.
子供たちは無事よ。
I think I might end it here because I'm very hungry. And you know, I feel like making food. And you know, if I make food, I can't speak. So, you know, that's how it be. And also I feel a little icky from Skyrim, like physically icky, like not emotionally. I thought it was very fun. I had a lot of fun today, and I'm definitely like still interested in Umineko. It's like getting interesting. I'll have to stream it for longer soon. Maybe not tomorrow because I have to do some stuff, but maybe the next day or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Depends on what happens. But thank you everyone for watching today at any point. I really do appreciate it. It was really, really fun. And I will continue to look into modding Skyrim and seeing if I can make it more fun or whatever, but it's not a big deal too. And yeah, and I also figured out the Paper Mario thing. It's actually really, really sad how easy it is. Like when I get to there and explain like what I missed, it's like it's so painful. Like it's actually so painful how I spent like 15-20 minutes going back and looking for stuff, and it's just like, oh. But I'll have to, you know, you're gonna have to tune in if you want to know how stupid I was. You want to know how dumb this bitch was? You gotta tune in, that's right. So I'll see you next time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, or night, or evening. It's 2 a.m. for me. Maybe it's different. Anyways, thank you so much. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye!